fundamental role of Jamia was to ensure Islamic identity. And for that, it has achieved its purpose. Other roles are, of course, to establish Salah, to ensure we do as much for welfare as possible, and to create a space where Muslim leaders can come and discuss their issues. So those really three fundamental areas, those are the major roles of Jamia Mosque. Within the welfare area, we do quite a number of programs. We have a medical support program, educational support programs. We have JTI, which runs skills for youth, computer training, Arabic language skills.
Taasisi ya mafunzo ya Jamia ilibuniwa mwaka 2005 mwezi wa Juni na msikiti wa Jamia kwa lengo la kutoa mafunzo kwa jamii. JTI inatoa mafunzo mbalimbali ikiwemo ushonaji, lugha ya ishara, lugha ya Kiarabu na nyinginezo, na imeweza kuvutia wanafunzi wengi ambao wameweza kujiendeleza kimaisha.
This college has been in existence for like 15 years right now under Jamia Mosque Nairobi, and there was this so that it was still taking time to pick up, to realize its potential. And that's why they gave me this opportunity to try and revive it, to try and give it life, to try and see this institution achieve its potential.
Before Corona, things were so good. It was our January to April intake, whereby it is usually our peak intake. We usually have a lot of students. Most of the students who finish from 4, they like joining JTI to do various courses that we have. We used to offer Arabic courses, computer courses, dressmaking courses for ladies, and sign language courses for the general public, not only the Muslims, the general public.
The institution has been offering 5 main courses. One, we had one on tailoring, 2, sign language, Arabic language, ICT, and that includes computer packages and the likes, and Islamic studies.
Taasisi hiyo ipo katika jumba la Jamia Towers karibu na barabara ya Murang'a, kaunti ya Nairobi. Kutokana na walimu waliobobea kwa lugha ya Kiarabu, mafunzo ya lugha hiyo iliweza kuvutia wanafunzi wengi waliokuwa na ari ya kujiendeleza.
Our classes, especially Arabic classes, is our class that is the course that takes a lot of numbers, especially during that time of January. We used to have like a class can accommodate like 20 to 30 students, but unfortunately when Corona came, it was a shock. It was a bang on our head.
Kwa zaidi ya miaka 15, JTI iliweza kushamiri kwa kupata wanafunzi kutoka tabaka mbalimbali na kusukuma mkurugenzi wa taasisi hiyo Faisal Qasim kupanga kuanzisha mafunzo ya taaluma ya upigaji picha.
One of the things that was in the pipeline and still is in the pipeline, only that it's paused a little bit because of this pandemic, was henna and beautification course. It's a skill. It's on demand in this country. I still want to do a crash course on photography. Photography being part of the larger media industry, it's a whole course on its own. But imagine if you could get an institution, you go in and learn photography in 1 month maximum. Maximum, 1 month. You learn photography and you can go outside there and take photos and make money.
Kutokana na maisha kuwa magumu, imepelekea wanafunzi wengi kutafuta kazi ili kuweza kujikimu kimaisha, ndiposa JTI ikafanya mabadiliko iliyopelekea mafunzo ya ushonaji kwa mitaa ili kufikia wanafunzi wengi haswa wasiojiweza.
I thought of partnering with local organizations in the informal settlements. When I talk of CBOs, welfares, self-help groups, and the likes, and establish centers at the informal settlements, within the informal settlements. Why? Because if you have this center here, then the person is expected to pay transport, expected to have at least some few pennies for drinks or maybe meals, if the class is a long day or the whole day, sorry, right? So we thought of let's take this particular course to the informal settlements.
Mwaka 2020 ugonjwa wa corona ulipoingia humu nchini na Rais Uhuru Kenyatta kufunga taasisi zote za mafunzo, JTI haikuachwa nyuma.
Unfortunately, when corona came, it was a shock. It was a bang on our head, whereby first of all we had to prepare ourselves for online classes, which no student was available or was prepared for the online class.
Taasisi za elimu nchini zililazimika kujikuna kichwa na kuanzisha mafunzo kupitia mtandao.
Now, we took some weeks before we had to plan ourselves and engage ourselves for the online classes, whereby one of the biggest challenges was tracking down the students so that they can join the online classes. Some of them they traveled, some of them went to Garissa, Wajir, other counties, some of them to Mombasa, Kisumu. So you call this person telling the student that you are required to join an online class that has already started, and she's telling you that, you know what, I am in Marsabit, deep there where there is no network, and unfortunately I can't attend the classes.
Safari hii ya mtandao iliweza kuwa vigumu kwa Wakenya wengi kutokana na miundo msingi.
A situation like this one is tough for the institute, and whereby one, if the class continues and the student doesn't happen to join that class, then he'll have to drop the class. The student will have to drop the class, which is it is a liability to the institute. It can be a liability to the institute, and also it can be whereby a student will have lost the value of the knowledge that he will want to access. So this was one of the biggest challenges that we faced during the corona lockdown. Then the president gave us an opportunity to open partially, where we did the partial opening but with social distancing. So this meant that the number of students in our classrooms were reduced to less than half actually. Whereby a class which is supposed to take 20 students was now taking 9 students. This was so challenging. It reduced the numbers to a figure that affected all of us, whereby also our teachers had to come in shifts, which now this affects the intake of students, whereby we used to have we usually have 2 hours classes. Now we had to make our teachers to come with shifts, whereby we couldn't manage to have class every time after every 2 hours. So you could find like there are some students we need to maybe to start a class from 2 to 4, and you find that you have no teacher. You have no teacher to do that. So you have to make sure this class has to be in a time that we have an available teacher. And if you have to put a teacher in a time that this teacher is not supposed to come, then you have to organize for private time. And obviously, private time teacher, you have to pay the teacher separately, hence becoming expensive to the institute.
Kama taasisi, safari hii ilikuwa mtelezo.
We tried at least an application to use that for teaching process, right? And we went ahead from March till May. It was not as effective. So we paused it a bit. And then we tried again around June, July for another like 3 months. And it wasn't as effective, right? The month of September, October there, we just decided like, you know what? We're done with it. No more.
Safari hii ya kutoa mafunzo haikuwa rahisi. Je, kwa wale waliokuwa wanafunzwa lugha ya ishara walipitia magumu yoyote?
Sign language is also online, and it was one of the also big challenge teaching sign language online. Actually, I can remember the tutor complaining about the hardness of teaching sign language online. But the good thing is that sign language you don't need to talk much. For sign language, you just need to write the word on the board, and you just need to show the expression, the signs of those words that you've written on the board. It's not like Arabic whereby you have to talk, you have to give the good pronunciation, you have to, in case of the failure of internet, you have to repeat the word again. The biggest challenge about sign language is that it needs good camera, it needs good video, good viewing. You know, for like Arabic, you can just, the audio is the most important thing. But for the sign language, it needs good viewing whereby the students are able to see the proper signage of the words.
Licha ya changamoto hizi, wasimamizi wa JTI walijikakamua kuhakikisha wanafunzi wanapata elimu bora.
I just don't want you to come here and pay that nominal fees that we are charging. I don't want that. I want you to get 100% value for your money. 100%, right? Look at the institution. JTI is one of the three institutions in this Nairobi town offering Arabic. We ensure quality assurance to the letter, and we are not here to make profits. We are here to impact people's lives. The proximity between the student and the teacher at JTI is second to none in this country.
Mvumilivu hula mbivu. Rais Uhuru Kenyatta akafungua tena taasisi za elimu na JTI ilijipanga tena na kuanza kusomesha wanafunzi madarasani.
The month of November, His Excellency came out again and decided that, you know what, we're going to open the schools once again. Right? So he decided, one, we're going to finish all the pending classes. Secondly, what we're going to do was we introduced a 1-month crash course program on Arabic. So within 1 month, someone could listen and understand basic Arabic for 1 month, 5 days a week.
Mbiu ya mgambo ikilia.
Hiyo hakuna.
Hiyo imeleta
Ili kupata wanafunzi zaidi, wasimamizi wa JTI walikuja pamoja na kubuni mikakati kabambe, kwani kidole kimoja hakivunji chawa.
Mtaani
kukupea form halal za kukubamba.
Journey Mbogi tukiwa na mashekh na mahiro.
You know, we have a show that's running every Monday, Life Yetinis, right? So it's one of the working shows. It's one of the marketing strategies, and it has been working. So I wrote a letter to you requesting for advertisements, that show and the stuff, to try and increase population, because I had a target of 95% enrollment by the end of April, and I knew I could achieve it. It's a big dream to get 55% hit within 1 month. Yes, it was a big dream, and I was determined to hit it. But again, it happened. The president.
Corona iliathiri walimu kwa kiwango kikubwa na JTI haikuachwa nyuma.
Even one of the challenges that we had is making the teachers have the knowledge of operating the online classes. So we had to, first of all, to choose a right platform that is cheap, that doesn't consume a lot of internet, and it is self-explanatory. Like a student can just click on the link and join the class. So what we did is that we made sure the classes are offered here at the institute, whereby the teacher will not have any expense at their places. So the teacher should conduct their classes here. The board will provide the class and the board. So the laptops are also provided.
Mradi wa kushona umeathirika baada ya Rais Uhuru Kenyatta kufunga tena taasisi za elimu kwa mara ya pili mwaka 2021 mwezi wa Machi.
I think it is unfortunate that we got a pandemic because some are enrolled, many of them are enrolled waiting for the class to start. But when they heard that the government has announced that there will be no class, so some got discouraged because they were eager to enter into that class. But because of the pandemic, so they were to wait until the next announcement.
Je, wazazi waliweza kuwashikilia mkono katika safari hii thakili?
Some parents have been supportive, some parents not yet. There's a challenge we had. First of all, when the first lockdown was made, I can remember it was hard finding the students who are in the up countries. Now, when the president gave us a partial opening, we call now the students like, your class has now resumed physically. Now you are supposed to come back to class. And like I can say 60% of the parents were like, you know, I fear corona. I can't allow my student, or I can't allow my child, my daughter, my son to come back to physical classes whereby there is corona. And that time, you can remember, Nairobi was really the hotspot.
So a number of them halted the process altogether because of the economic effect, of which, of course, we cannot blame them. We cannot blame them. 100% understand them, right? We 100% do understand them. Some were incapacitated.
Some parents had to bring their students physically to see if we offer social distancing and provide a safe environment for their kids.
For the bigger majority, alhamdulillah, they were very supportive throughout the online learning process. And even right now, when we are doing online classes, right, we still acknowledge and appreciate the support of the parents who their kids study at Jamia Training Institute.
Nikiripotia Ripoti Horizon, jina langu ni Ibtisam Jamal.